What's going on, guys, and welcome back to F123 for My Team Career Mode Season 2, round number 8, the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is our first time in Hungary, and it is, after this, the midway point of the season, so things getting interesting at this middle point, as we're going to put one powertrain upgrade on the car, which isn't going to come through for quite a few races yet, but yeah, we are putting that on the car for the future. Looking at R&D, not really any changes. Aston Martin have jumped back ahead of Mercedes again though at the top, so it's always changing between those guys, and then yeah, the group behind kind of just still right on top of each other. Haas having a little bit of a improvement, but we haven't really seen them, you know, with a basically double rookie lineup. They haven't really been putting in the performances, haven't scored any points yet so far, so let's see what they can do here in this race. In qualifying here, and yeah, Hungary, the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Hungaroring as the track is called, is not my favourite track in the world. It's not my favourite to race on. It doesn't usually provide the best racing, and yeah, it's not one that I've always had the most luck with either. Like, I've never had the best pace here, but also just luck in previous F1 games. This is a track where I always seem to have mechanical failures or, you know, just not very good pace. I'm pretty sure we had 2 mechanical failures in either, I think it was either F1 22 or 2021, so yeah, never been the best track, this one for me, but we made it through Q1, no worries at all, into Q2, and we're smashing through this section now. This is kind of the tricky sector 2, which is, it is a very tricky sector, I'm not going to lie. It's better on this game than it was in previous games, just because, you know, the handling in F1 23 is just so much better than in F1 22, so just generally it is more fun and I think just easier to do these sections. You know, like this sector in F1 22 was an absolute pain in the arse, and even in 2021 I wasn't very good at it, but in this game it just seems to be the case that, you know, those tricky sections are easier and I am better at those sections. Q2 I go quickest, so very good there. We've obviously got some decent pace here. Big surprise out in Q2 is probably Max Verstappen. He's all the way down there in P13 behind Alex Albon in the Williams, so yeah, that is not good for Verstappen there. Perez does get through, so Verstappen not having a good quali here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Q2 now, and after my first run we're sitting P7, and we're now getting underway for our final flying lap here. It's a decent first couple of corners. The first sector of this lap I'm pretty good with, not the most difficult here. This can be a difficult corner if you don't get the braking right and don't carry enough speed or carry too much speed. We get it very good this time. We actually went purple through that first sector. Not sure if that's going to be purple at the end of qualifying, but it is purple for now. As now we head into the tricky sector 2. This is the bit that is the more difficult section, and yeah, my car isn't as good here as the Mercedes and probably as the Aston Martins either, so we only go green through sector 2. It is still a decent sector though. We are up considerably, about 3/10, I think almost 4/10 up on my previous time, so we are definitely making time up here, although I believe my first lap in Q3 was on a worn set of on a used set of softs, so we are going to make an improvement here. Anyway, as we cross the line we go quickest, but in the end it's not pole position for us, it's pole position for Lewis Hamilton once again. So our rival in this championship has pole position. We are on the front row with him though, and then behind us we've got Alonso and then George Russell in P4. Then the next row back, row number 3, is Sainz and Tsunoda. So Tsunoda's down there in P6. Decent qualifying from him, not the best. But yeah, let's see what is going to happen in the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of Formula One action. We're not expecting too many retirements at this circuit. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher, who made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Davies completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Russell, Sainz, Tsunoda, Gasly, Perez, Leclerc, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, Verstappen, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Doohan, Joe, Liam Lawson, Magnussen, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, the regulations aren't new anymore, but the teams and the drivers are still coming to terms with them. I firmly believe it's also track specific. We've seen some wheel-to-wheel racing throughout the year. Some tracks lend themselves better to it than others. I'd like to see it at every race in the whole season. Is that too much to ask?
Alright, so here we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix, starting on the front row of the grid with our rival Lewis Hamilton. As lights are out, it is a pretty good start for us, not the best start for Hamilton, and we take the lead as we head now down towards turn 1, but Alonso behind us has also got a really good start, and he has actually managed to get past us, and he's passed us into turn 1. Alonso leads the Hungarian Grand Prix from starting third on the grid. It looked like we were going to take the lead into turn 1, but it was not to be. Alonso had an absolutely electric start, and he's pulling away now. He is flying in this first sector here. Alonso leads the way from myself, Lewis Hamilton, and then George Russell. Look at the gap. Fernando has already got to us. What a start from him. He hasn't got a win in this career mode as of yet. He's had a couple of moments where he's been looking at having a win, but he just hasn't had the pace, or he's had a mechanical issue. So he is really putting his foot down here to try and get that win when his car is supposedly, when the Aston Martin is supposedly the quickest car on paper. So he's going to try and do it now. He's already over a second ahead of us. He's had an amazing start. We're not having to defend too much from Hamilton behind, but we're under more pressure from him than we are putting pressure on Alonso as we head around this the last couple of corners here to finish lap number 1. But what a start it has been for Fernando Alonso. Most people here starting on the soft compound tyres. There are, I think, 4 or 5 drivers starting on the mediums. My teammate Tsunoda is one of those drivers. So yeah, interesting how that all works out. This is a replay from Alexander Albon, who started P11. He had an amazing start with a couple of drivers ahead of him not having very good starts, and he's actually up into P8. He's made 3 positions just off the start line to get up to P8 in this race. So very good start from Alexander Albon on the soft compound tyres in the Williams. On to lap number 4 now, heading on to lap number 5, and we've now caught up to Alonso. We've actually dropped Hamilton and Russell as well, and as we head down into turn 1, we're going to boost our ERS and make Alonso go a little bit defensive into turn 1, but he's just about going to be able to hang on there. DRS available for us, but Alonso has just about managed to keep the position. But a couple of laps later, on to lap number 7, we're really close behind Alonso now. He's going defensive, but this time we can pull alongside him as we head into turn 1. It's going to be side by side, us and the Spaniard round turn 1. Alonso still just ahead of us at the moment, but we're going to have the run, and we're going to have the inside line as we now head into what I guess is turn 3, and we're still side by side with Fernando. A little bit of a moment of oversteer of us round that corner, but we have gotten up into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So finally we've gone past Alonso on lap number 7. We now lead this Hungarian Grand Prix. Further back, and Charles Leclerc is trying to make his way through the order. He has now got Alexander Albon, the car ahead of him, but not for too much longer because he's gone for that move. Albon though trying to stick it out here. Leclerc is on the medium compound tyres, so he didn't get a very good start off the lights, and that let Albon get past him, but Leclerc on lap number 8 has now managed to get past the Williams driver. Tsunoda also trying to make his way through the order, now has got Sergio Perez, the car alongside him, as Tsunoda goes to the inside, gets past Perez. Pretty easy move there. Perez might look at doing something back into turn 3, but can't, and that is Tsunoda ahead of Perez now up into about P6, I believe. Now we have, who is this? This is someone else going for a move. This is Max Verstappen now going for a move on Alex Albon. That Williams, I guess, just doesn't have the pace, and also on the soft compound tyres, perhaps starting to lose a little bit of grip, although Verstappen also on the softs there, but in a quicker car. So Verstappen now up another position. Albon is now falling back down to where he started this race. Not a lot happening here, to be completely honest. We were keeping a gap to Alonso and the cars behind. The two Mercedes actually really picked it up, caught right up to the back of Alonso. So I think maybe we're starting to gain a little bit now, just because Alonso is starting to have to defend from Hamilton and Russell a bit more. But he is actually keeping with us here, and actually over a couple of laps managed to catch up a couple of tenths. Lap number 14 though, Alonso and Hamilton are both into the pits for their first pit stop. This is a lap earlier than we are coming into the pits, so we're coming in on lap 15. So those guys trying to do an undercut here. They're onto a set of medium compound tyres, which is the same strategy that we are doing, but we're going one lap later into the pits, lap number 15 onto 16. We're into the pits to go onto our medium compound tyres. Here we go for the team. It's slow on the rear right though, very slow. We're stuck in the pit box for a bit longer than we would have hoped. 4.2 second pit stop, that is about 2 seconds longer than we would have hoped for. And because of that, we've actually dropped now behind Alonso and Hamilton, and Russell is right behind us. We've managed to stay just about ahead of Russell, but he's now right behind us. And yeah, Alonso and Hamilton have both managed to jump us there with the undercut, but also because of the pit stop issue for me. We are now hooked right up behind Hamilton though. He will have DRS though as we head onto the front straight here, because he was behind one of the Hasses there. So it does pick up the DRS. We're actually having to defend from Russell though, because Russell's really looking very quick. We take a bit of a compromise line into turn 1. That lets Russell have a little bit of a look around the outside. He's right around the back of us here, and instead of attacking Lewis, we're defending from his teammate George. We've just about managed to stay ahead of him for now though, as Hamilton gets past Pierre Gasly up ahead. He's on the medium compound tyres, has not come into the pits yet. Unfortunately now, we're going to be stuck behind Gasly through this whole kind of final 2 sectors, especially sector 2 here. This is not a good place to be following a slower car. He's on worn medium tyres, and you can just look at how much slower Gasly is than us. Around here we've got Russell right up our arse and just can't make a move on Gasly. We're going to have a look though, open ERS, go for the move, but then Gasly's really defending it harshly to the inside. We just can't quite get our car there. We have a bit of oversteer, and we've gone from looking at a move on Gasly to now losing the position to George Russell. So in the space of about 3 laps here from when we came into the pits, we have now gone from a net P1 to now a net and an actual P4, as the medium compound tyre runners have all come in. We're now not even in a podium position anymore. As we head down into turn 1, we're having a look at a move on Russell, and he actually locks up a little bit into turn 1. That lets us go up the inside to try and get back past him again, open DRS, and we are now back up ahead of George Russell, back up into a podium position once again. But now we've got about 2.5 seconds to Hamilton up ahead, so that is not good. This hasn't worked out for us in this pit stop phase. You can see the weather's also starting to get a little bit cloudy here as we head over that right hand corner, get a bit too caught up on the curb. That completely unsettles the car. I was really pushing, trying to catch up to Hamilton, and now that's just cost us a good second or so there. We managed to stay ahead of Russell thankfully, but yeah, Russell really putting us some pressure on us here, and Hamilton now right on the back of Alonso. He's looking for a move for the lead here. This happened once before. There's a caution up ahead though. Who is that? That is Fernando Alonso, who his engine's gone up in smoke and he's retiring from the Hungarian Grand Prix from the lead. He was leading this race. He was potentially looking for a race win here, definitely at least a podium, and Alonso is out. So he's going to have to wait again, even longer, for that elusive next race win and his first race win in this career mode of ours. We now have Carlos Sainz going for a move on Max Verstappen here. Verstappen on the mediums, Sainz on the hard compound tyres, and perhaps Sainz towards the, well, there's still a good 8 laps to go yet, but maybe a little bit more grip in those hard compound tyres. And Verstappen just hasn't really been himself lately. He's not had very good pace all season. He hasn't even had a podium this season yet. So not going well for Verstappen. He does just about manage to hang on to that position though from Sainz. As we continue on, Hamilton now the car ahead of us who leads this race. Russell's right behind us though, and we are very close to the back of Hamilton here. He's going rather slowly, and now my engineer is actually going to tell me that Hamilton has an issue as we have a look into turn 4. Bit of a sketchy moment, or turn 5, whatever you call that corner. Bit of a sketchy place to try and go for a move there, but Hamilton is really slow right now. He has a mechanical problem. It's happened again, just like in Canada where he was leading the race from us in second. And he had a mechanical issue that he didn't retire from that race, but he did have a mechanical issue that slowed him down. Might be the case again here today, just the same once again. As we get past Hamilton down the main straight, Russell is looking to follow me through as well, and now Russell is actually going for a move on us round the outside. I'm a little bit caught unaware from that. I didn't really expect Russell to have the speed to go for a move on us, and we're going to be side by side round into this next corner as well. We can't quite hang it out on the outside, and Russell has now got the lead of this race. So his teammate has a mechanical issue, but Russell's really trying to help his teammate out as much as he can here by now overtaking me. So now we're still in second place, but the Mercedes have switched around another couple of laps and we've absolutely dropped Hamilton. Over 4 seconds the gap to him now. He's really struggling. His car definitely ailing towards the end of this race. So unfortunate for him, but it's good for us in the championship battle. It'd be even better though if we could catch Russell here, because it looks like Hamilton will still pick up the fastest lap. He's got the fastest lap at the moment. I don't think nobody's really setting faster laps at the end of this race, but in the end we were not able to catch Russell. He just got the lead and managed to just push ahead. He had good pace here today. George Russell wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. We come home P2. Hamilton just about manages to hang on to a podium here, but yeah, not the race we were expecting there. A lot of up and down moments for us, but it is at least second place.
There'll be smiles at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take victory here in Hungary. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they are very much at one with the car, which is a cliche, but it's true. It's not an easy process, and that work is very much paying off.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So it's back-to-back wins for George Russell. He won in France. He now wins in Hungary back-to-back here. So perhaps he's trying to get into this championship fight as well. But I think more than anything, just kind of, you know, softening the damage that Hamilton had to succumb in that race because of that mechanical failure. We ended up P2. Hamilton just hung on to P3 another lap, and he would have probably lost the podium to, I believe, Sergio Perez, who came through for P4. But yeah, not good for Hamilton, not good for Alonso either, leading this race and having a mechanical failure. So unfortunate for him. But it's another podium for us. There's only been one race this season. We haven't been on the podium. So really keeping the consistency up here. Even though we haven't won the last, I think, 3 races, we've been on the podium each time. So picking up good points and most importantly, beating Hamilton in this race too. We extend our lead in the championship over Hamilton to now 26 points. So we only gained 2 points on him because he ended up, you know, finishing 1 position behind us and had that fastest lap. So only a 2-point swing to us there. Russell now back up into P3 ahead of Alonso after his retirement, so very unfortunate for him. Tsunoda, I think, finished P7 in the race, so picked up a few points, but nothing amazing from Tsunoda. Further down the order, no real changes at the back. Ocon still only on 2 points, which I think is crazy considering Gasly's on like 60 something or 50 something points. Ocon really needs to step it up in this second half of the season. And then in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes, I think, about 40 points ahead of us still in the Constructors' Championship, with Aston Martin 3rd, Red Bull 4th, Ferrari there in 5th, Alpine 6th, McLaren 7th, Williams in 8th. I think Albon managed to pick up 1 more point for a P10 finish, and then Haas, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo still yet to score points. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.